morning, everybody. We're very lucky that these 33 high school students have come to play in their orchestra. They come from a school called Winchester High School in Massachusetts. Their director is Mr. McCann. Will we give them a big round of applause to welcome them?
Thank you, boys and girls. The first piece we're going to play today, and it's a very special piece because it's a happy birthday piece in a way. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, about 2 weeks ago, celebrated his birthday. How old is he? 250 years old, and we're still playing his music. So this is an allegro from a divertimento. Now, we've spent a long time tuning our instruments this morning because we arrived from the United States yesterday, and air travel does amazing things to the strings on these stringed instruments. I'm going to take a moment to retune some of the instruments. And while I do that, I'm going to ask some of my players to step forward to the mic and talk about their instrument and how it works, so you get an basic introduction to some of the instruments of the orchestra.
Alright, this is the cello. It's the second largest instrument of the string instruments, and it has 4 different strings. An A string, which is it's 4 different strings. It's the second lowest instrument, and it's always used in one of these cases. It's pretty big, and you usually sit down with it and you prop it up between your legs.
Violin, it's the highest of the stringed instruments, and like the cello, there's also 4 strings, and its highest string is higher than the cello's. It's an E string, and then there's an A. And it wasn't as hard to bring on the plane as the cellos because it's much smaller.
I play the viola. It's kind of a mix between a cello and a violin because it has the same strings as a cello, like but instead of playing it like a cello, you hold it up like a violin. And there's only 2 of them because they're not very popular, but they're a great instrument. And yeah. Okay, they want to play scale. So that's a viola.
I played a flute. Flute's pretty unique even out of all the woodwinds because most woodwinds you just blow straight into it, but a flute you're actually blowing your air right over the top. There's a hole in the mouthpiece. I don't think you guys can see it on that. But so flute you blow right over the top of the hole, and that's how we get the sound. So you blow over the top of the hole. Hi, this is a clarinet, and unlike the flute, you play it down as opposed to sideways, and you put your fingers over the keys to play different notes. You can press keys and they'll close openings, and then you can also close openings with your fingers. And you just move your fingers right up and down, and you can get all sorts of different kinds of notes. So I'll play you a scale.
Hi, sorry. I'm Kobe, and I play the bassoon. This is one of the biggest of the woodwind instruments. There's actually one that's even bigger. It's about twice as big, called the contrabassoon. It's also one of the lowest, and like the cellos, we get to sit down while we play it, which is pretty cool. The bassoon is like another woodwind instrument that we don't have in the orchestra, which is the oboe. And we have cool reeds that are there's a top part and a bottom part, which means we can play the reed without the bassoon. Without the bassoon, the reed sounds like this. And it's pretty easy to play it too. So. continue with the reed. But when you play it on the bassoon, it's a lot lower. I'll play you a scale. It's funny both ways.
Hello everyone. We're part of the brass section because our instruments are made of brass, or they used to be. And this is a French horn. It's almost the lowest. It's not quite, I don't know what's the lowest in the brass section, but it's a pretty low instrument. And it's shaped like a circle with a bell on it. And to make sound, we use our mouthpieces, which can be played off the instrument like a bassoon, and it sounds something like this. It's kind of odd. But on the instrument, it sounds a lot different, and I'll play a scale for you. So it's a lot different.
Hello, I play the trumpet, which is actually one of the higher instruments in the brass section. It's a lot smaller than the French horn you can see. But actually, if you took out all the pieces that put this together, it would be very, very long. There's so much tubing all of this. You can also take out the mouthpiece, and it sounds kind of weird too. It sounds like this. But sometimes we don't play it like that. So we usually play with the rest of the trumpet. It sounds like this. So it sounds a lot better when you put the mouthpiece on.
Hi, I'm John, and I play the drums. It's not brass, despite me being up here with them. It doesn't have different notes, but I can play it differently. If I play on the head, it sounds something like... Oops. This. Oh, you play it for me? It sounds like this played on the head. You can play it on the side too, which sounds a little like that. Oh, this side. Tons of different noises.
How do you play long notes?
If you roll for long notes, which is kind of fun, because you kind of just... You don't really have notes, so I make up for it by playing different ways. That's about it. What vibrates? You notice there's a different way. If it changed one thing on the bottom, watch this. I don't know if you can see it way in the back. These things are moving away from the drum. It sounds differently when I do that, though.
Came out of the plane like this. The neck on the string bass got broken. So Emily is bassless, but not ungrounded. Okay. I'm going to ask one of our cello players to come up and sing. His name is Davis, and he's going to sing the next song for you.
Man, it's a hot one, like 7 inches from the midday sun. I hear you whispering the words to melt everyone, but you stay so cool. My Mona Quita, my Spanish Harlem Mona Lisa.
Buonasera e benvenuti. Un ringraziamento particolare a tutti voi che siete venuti a intervenire a questa manifestazione. Come avrete avuto modo di leggere, abbiamo questa sera ospite un'orchestra americana di Boston, la Winchester Orchestra. Questa orchestra abbiamo avuto modo di averla grazie al fondatore e direttore per 40 anni della Loyola University Chicago Center, dottor John Felice. Il concerto verterà su musiche di Mozart, Rossini, Dvorak, Respighi e una rivisitazione dei brani più conosciuti di Carlos Santana.
language universal that is the music. E questa musica vostra ci ha portato nell'animo quella pace, quella dolcezza, quell'armonia di cui i nostri tempi hanno bisogno. linguaggio della musica, questo linguaggio universale che ci fa uomini, che ci intenerisce tutti, è questo linguaggio che noi dobbiamo imparare a capire, a comprendere e a usare, come non mai nei tempi di oggi. Grazie perché ci avete fatto vivere questo momento.
Stato all'università fino a pochi anni fa e poi alla mia età avevo ritirarsi. Ma i nostri ex alunni sono ancora in contatto con me e attraverso gli ex alunni che adesso lavora con questi bravi giovani a Orchestra siamo riusciti a portare questa orchestra nel paese che ho tanto stima, che ho conosciuto per tanti anni, perché alcuni dei vostri cittadini mi hanno aiutato molto e per molti anni per sviluppare l'università a Roma. Vi ringrazio.
The daughter of John Felici's student and dear friend, Kathy Boney. Kathy Boney is our head of the school. She's head of our schools in Winchester. Her daughter is here, and she would like to give gifts to Madam Mayor and to John Felici.
Sono la madre di questa signorina, che era studentessa da noi a Roma, mi pare nel 60 e 72, perché adesso da molti anni, e loro sono grandi, sono nella vita e stanno aiutando noi a continuare questa missione a Roma. Grazie a voi.
Our entire orchestra from Winchester High School, we would like to thank your town so much for hosting us today. We had a beautiful tour throughout your gorgeous city, and we had such a great time, and thank you so much. We want to say a special thank you to John Felice. We'd also like to thank your distinguished mayor, Dr. Anna Infante,